Hey everybody, I am Larry Smith, and I'll tell you what, like I do all the time, it's one of my favorite sayings. I don't know, it just naturally comes out of my mouth. I've been guiding basically full-time for just over 30 years, and I want to tell you guys really a little bit about how it all started. I was basically driving truck for a company, and I started fishing a lot of local tournaments, and we started doing fairly well at the local tournaments and right here in Oshkosh. And a guy came up to me that had a business and said, "Hey, would you be interested in guiding some of my clientele?" And I said, well, I never really thought about the guiding part of it. I kind of like fishing the tournaments, but I never thought about like taking other people out. And an interesting part at that time on the Winnebago system, there was actually only 2 other guides. And that's like now there's 100 of them. But at that time, there was only 2 other guides. One guy's name was Gary Gray. He was a recruiter for the Army, and he was one of the top tournament fishermen that there was. And the other guy was called Captain Walleye. So that's kind of an interesting thing alone when you think about really like now there's guides on every block. They're everywhere. Everybody became a guide. But so what happened is that obviously this guy came up to me at this tournament, and I thought about it for a couple days and said, yeah. So I ended up getting my captain's license and I started guiding, and I was still driving truck at night, and I was doing a lot of guiding during the daytime. What happened is I did that probably for about 3 years, and all of a sudden it got to the point where, the business really started taking off again because there wasn't a lot of guides. So it was like I was working between the 2 jobs basically probably at least for 2 years. I was probably working anywhere from 70 to 90 hours a week. So I was absolutely just burning the candle on both ends. I've always been very fortunate in my life that I've been severely ADHD, which allows me to go without sleeping, sometimes up to 2 days, sometimes even I've gone 3 days without sleeping. So high energy. I started the guiding business, and it basically got to the point where I had to like give up the driving, or I had to give up the guiding because it was getting to be too much. I already had, 1 child at home, 1 son at home, another one on the way. And my wife was staying at home because I obviously was guiding so much and was never home to do as many things with these kids as she did. And, I give her like all the credit in the world. I've got 4 kids, 3 boys and my daughter. All 4 of my kids have really turned out good, and I would say I give 99.9% of the credit to her for sure, because she was the one that really was home enough and spent a lot of time with these kids. And that's one thing I would say too about like the outdoor world. It's in one sense it's a very sad thing, but the amount of commitment that it takes to make this work is like no other. When it comes to guiding, I say this quite a bit, there's a lot of people out there that are better fishermen than I am for sure, and I admit that. I'm still learning all the time, and I love to learn, but as far as being a guide, I honestly don't think there's many guides in this whole state that are a better guide than I am. And the reason I say that is because myself, I think the key part about being a good guide is to be a good listener for one thing, a good talker, but to be very passionate about really the people that are in your boat or on the ice with you, in a lot of hard work. I mean, that's the big thing. I've always said that like you are, as a client, are gonna learn more on a tough day of fishing than you are on an easy day of fishing. What we're doing now is, what we want to do is, we started the show, Larry Smith Outdoors, the network show. We started this about 7 years ago. So we want to take it to a new level. We've got a new kid working for us, and his idea was to start filming some of the guide trips. And I'm pretty excited about it because I've never thought about it, and we're going to break them all down to about 8 to 10 minutes, and we're going to hopefully bring you 2 different guide trips a week. But the cool part about this whole thing that we're setting up now is that, we're with different people pretty much every time. So you're going to have different personalities. We're going to be fishing different bodies of water, different techniques, and I hope you guys really enjoy it. And I want to hear your comments and any questions that you guys have or gals have about the guiding part or about just fishing in general. It's stuff that we are very interested in. So I hope you guys enjoy our new series coming up. Remember, no matter what, it's always a great day to be alive, and we appreciate you guys watching everything.